Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, Dex and Dice, Ramblings of an LGS owner, and I figured today I would throw my hat into the grading card subjects that have been rolling around lately. Yes, I'm talking about PSA versus, PCG. Full disclosure, I am a patron, whatever you want to call it, of Rudy. Yeah, me and Taco Man do talk from time to time. Nothing super serious. I just bother him with random questions and BS. So, just like I bother Rob from RNG Games with random questions and BS, like it's normal. However, I will say that given the bad taste that PSA has put in everyone's mouths, I do believe that there does need to be a rival. That being said, full disclosure on my outlook on this, no, I do not think that PSA is going to get dethroned, especially after they bought Beckett, like, what, a year ago or something? PSA owns 80 to 85%, somewhere around there, of the grading card market in general. They're like the Walmart of the grading companies, not like quality, well, debatable there, but anyways, like the size of, they're not going anywhere. They have taken more than their fair share of the market, right? There's, unless something really weird happens and they implode, they're not going anywhere. They are probably most likely going to stay industry standard, as much as I hate to say that. Like I said, they're going to be like the Walmart of retail store of the grading, or like the DeWalt of tools. You know how DeWalt is the default tool for everybody. Not saying it's bad, but it's just what everyone knows and goes with. It's acceptable, okay? That being said, let's talk about slight differences and everything with PSA versus PCG and CGC. Unfortunately, I do not have any Beckett slabs, so I can't really compare that physically here for you guys. But anyways, let's keep going, because we all know that PSA has had its fair share of fumbles. To be fair, if you're getting in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of requests, your rate of fumbles is going to go up just because you're dealing with a shit ton more cards, Some of them have been really expensive fumbles, but we'll just say that it's expected with dealing with the volume they deal with, okay? I don't know how. I don't know when PSA got to be the monolith that it is in the grading card world. Okay, I don't know. Slabs is something I haven't really had much of an interest in, just because personally I think slabbing is cool for stuff that you want to keep, that you 99.8% sure are never going to sell unless you have to, I don't know, put down a down payment on a house, medical bill, save a pet, something like that, right? I think grading is strictly just for, it's going to sit in your closet, collect dust, and when you die, your kids are going to have to deal with it or whatever, hopefully it's worth a crap ton more than what it was, and they can sell it and make some money or something, Anyways, pressing on. There is a quality difference in the slabs by themselves, as Rudy keeps pointing out, and I will show you that today, right? I actually prefer PCG slabs to anything else, because just like, here's a CGC and here's a PSA, and here is a PCG. Just holding them, this right here weighs about the same as both of these. So one slab weighs about the same as holding both a CGC and a PSA slab, give or take, close. You've all seen, God, I hope this works on the webcam. You've all seen PSA slabs, right? You know what they look like. Congratulations, it's a PSA slab. Kind of bland, boring. Thanks for giving me a random grade right there and explaining nothing else. Also, a really cheap feeling slab. Like all things, just being honest, super cheap feeling slab. CGC. Same thing. God, I hope it focuses. Okay. Sorry about the light too, guys, but anyways. You know, hi, I'm a CGC slab. I am what I am. I give you a number, and that's what it is. Nothing else. Good, congratulations. This, however, feels better than a PSA slab. Arguably, I like the way the CGC looks better than the PSA slab. It just looks cleaner, right? It just does. It looks cleaner. You don't have that stupid little, like, I don't know what they call that little frosting or whatever it is right there of the plastic itself, you know. It just looks cleaner. Moving on to a PCG slab. I still have this in the little sleeve it came in. I have all of them in the sleeve. I didn't take them out, but here is your PCG slab. It tells you, God, please don't lose focus. Okay, it tells you everything you need to know, right? You have your grade and you have your subgrades, which is awesome. It lets me know exactly what the card, you know, it tells me why it got the grade, right? Here's the back, you know, tells you everything you need to know. And this slab feels solid. Like, I could probably take this outside, throw it up against the brick wall outside 12, 13 times before anything ever happened to it. Run it over with a car, hit it with a hammer. I think I've actually seen Taco Man hit his with a hammer. But these slabs are awesome. They are. They look clean. Not as clean and simple as the CGC slab does, admittedly. I'm really a stickler for just bare basic stuff. But even the coloring is awesome. Disclosure, black, red, and gold are my favorite colors, so I'm probably a little biased to this. But just look at the slab itself compared to, that's another CGC, compared to your CGC slab. I mean, thanks for the label. You know, you don't tell me really anything else on the label. It's pretty, whoops. There's not really much of a comparison, right? And you have your PSA slab, which I hate PSA labels. They're ugly as shit. I don't know why, you know. I just don't. I don't know, again, I don't know why, I don't know how, and I don't know when PSA became like the standard of everything, but their slabs are just disgusting. I know people that actually break open PSA slabs to send them in to PCG to get them regraded because they hate the PSA slab so much. And I mean, I have other examples here too. This little beauty, little holiday promo that WASI sends out to WPN stores and all that. And again, you know, it'll tell you what's wrong with it, why it got the grade. And here's another one, a little Force of Will promo from 2016. She got a 9. And again, you know, tells you why it got it. And it's just, these slabs, PCG slabs are amazing when compared to PSA and CGC. God, I can't. I'm doing terrible, guys. I'm sorry. Like, there's no real comparison on slab quality and everything. There's not. We can possibly split hairs about who grades it, how it gets graded, and so forth and so forth. But as long as everything is still touched by a human, it's going to really depend on how that human is feeling that day, how well their eyes are working, all that good stuff. As much as we hate to admit that, that's always going to play a role into the why your stuff got graded the way it did, which is why we all know the stories of people getting 8s and 9s from PSA, breaking them out of the slabs, sending them back in, and then getting 9s and 10s, right? I think that we really need to pick another company to rival PSA. And I think PSA owns CGC as well, or there's another smaller grading company that PSA owns, because they own Beckett and one other one, I believe, and maybe a few other ones. But anyways, I really think that we need to pick another company to give PSA a run for its money, and I wholeheartedly believe that we should choose PCG. Because once you have a few cards graded from PCG and you feel the difference and you actually sit there and look at these in person and compare them to probably the PSA and other slabs that you have, you'll understand what I'm saying. It is by far a superior product to PSA CGC slabs, right? I do believe that, like I said, PSA is not going anywhere. They're obviously going to be too big to fail unless something weird internal happens and they implode. However, I do believe that we all need to get behind another brand and let it become the target of the grading card industry. And I believe that PCG is that brand. I really do. And it's not because I enjoy talking to Taco Man or anything like that. I really do enjoy these slabs. They're awesome. So, with that in mind, please give PCG a shot, guys. Send the stuff in, spend your $20 a card, get your stuff back in, I don't know, probably 30 days, give or take, depending on how busy they are and all that good stuff and the type of service you choose, etc., etc. But they're not going to hold your cards for 6 months or 8 months or anything like that. And if you send them in a $5,000 card, they're not going to charge you $900 to grade the card for some magical effing reason. It's still going to be the $20 or whatever it is you get to with, codes or whatnot. That in and of itself, I believe, is something that's super important that people might not be factoring in or simply overlooking, is that once you pay your $20 to get your stuff graded, that's it. There are no hidden fees or anything like that when you send your stuff in to PCG versus PSA. Super important, especially if you send them, 10 cards worth $3,000 a piece or whatever. You don't have to worry about that. Surprise! It's going to be an extra $400 a card because these are expensive cards. So, anyways, I believe PCG is the brand to get behind when we're trying to hold something else up to compete with PSA. I don't think it will replace it, like I said, unless something internally weird happens at PSA. But PSA is the Walmart, we need a Target, and PCG, I believe, can be that company. We just all need to give it a shot. If you're for some reason stuck on, it's Rudy's company, so fuck that, I get it. Sure, hold to your moral superiority or whatever, your principles or whatever, but maybe, just maybe, get the fuck over yourself and give it a shot anyways. You withholding your $20, $60, $80, $100 or whatever it might be for what you send in isn't hurting the company at all. So you don't really have anything to lose or gain, to lose, I guess I should say, by giving it a shot. You might actually gain something by understanding or realizing that once you get these in your hand, compared to these crappy things, you might actually like what PCG is doing and the quality of the stuff they're putting out. that's all I got, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts on this whole graded fiasco thing. So, anyways, I got to get going. Always things to do. So, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. You're a trash can, not a trash can't. And just be like Nike and do it, man. Just go out there and do it. All right? Have a good one. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.